will wait up for a few more minutes to see if a few more people will show up, and then you and I can start our session, Tricia.
I have plenty of time, so we can wait as long as you need.
Thank you. So, Tricia, what are you working with daily? With the crafts, energy medicine, I could see, and the crafts.
Just
Yeah.
I've been reading your book, and I joined the Shaman 21, so I've been working through the different rituals and meditations, that site, and I'm reading Alberto's book. Which one is it? The hold on one second. With the Wisdom Wheel.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. That's truly solid wisdom. Everything but Alberto created is solid. So, Tricia, within a minute's time, we're going to start our session. I trust that if somebody decides to join, they will just join in because the session and the access is open to this link. So, let me start by presenting myself a little bit. So my name is Nikola Breath, and I am a fire shaman or a neuro shaman. And I like to say about myself, I studied the brain to understand the cosmos. And 4 years plus, I've been studying energy medicine, neuroscience, shadow work, shamanic wisdom of different ethnical groups. And, you know, more than anything, I've studied life, like an exploration of my own life through my experiences. And I like to say that most of my experience comes from being in the field, the raw field. So in this course, 7 days course, I'm going to be your guide, and I'm going to be your mirror in a way, and you will be my mirror as well. So we will walk as equals in this course, and we will be teachers to one another as well, because the concept of polarity is that the polarity is a living dance, and together with our dualistic nature, we can untangle and better understand this concept of the polarity and dualism and harmony in the middle. Coherence, of course, as well, which is our main objective here throughout the 7 days. So we will start each session, each day with a little bit of breath, simply to calm our autonomous nervous system down and to be able to start heart-brain coherence. And no, it's all about remembering that even harmony is not perfection. It's just to be present. So it's the presence that is the most important for these 7 days for all of us as we help each other untangle this wisdom and we evolve together through this. So we can also say that this subject of the polarity is something that affects us all, everybody, and every day. So whether it be in our emotional responses or relationships, even in our energy levels, on our spiritual path, nevertheless, and we are meeting polarity and the dualistic natural universal tendencies in every day, every moment of our life. So from the concept of the quantum field to our breath, from electromagnetic attraction to relationship with the dynamics, everything functions through contrast, opposites, poles, dual movements. So, for an example, even our heart works through polarity, expanding and contracting. Our nervous system as well works through polarity, uh, through activation and rest. So we can even say that our identity, our personality functions in polar tension. Who we show we are and who we suppress, and who we want to be and who we are afraid to be. So all of these aspects of us are stretching us into these polarized, dualistic aspects of the universe and the natural laws. So most of the people are not even aware that they are suffering because there is this concept of polarity. They actually suffer because they don't know how to deal with the polarity, to walk with the polarity, to harmonize. So, what we usually do as humans is we choose to collapse into one of these sides. We get stuck. And then we begin fighting against the side we fear, this other uh, cast of the pendulum, so to say. So, sometimes when we fight against this fear, we can swing so violently into another extreme that we even can become hyper assertive for one day, or burn out or stress the other day, all because of these very violent swings of the pendulum in the dualistic spectrum. And this also shows in every aspect of our lives, in our relationships, for example, where we either have a tendency to overgive or to prove that we are worthy, or to shut down even to protect ourselves. So we can spot these tendencies as well in leadership, in business, where we, for example, try to look confident while we are vibrating fear underneath the facade. And people can obviously feel these contradictions in our field, or we can feel them when another individuals are having these contradictions installed in their field. Then we can feel this in our personal growth, of course, where we, in a way, chase the notion of the light and suppress the shadow aspects of ourselves. And then we wonder why our joy is feeling like fake or temporary, because we didn't research and explore the dualistic aspects of our nature, which we need to be able to integrate, cohere, and harmonize in this notion of the polarity. So the real cost of this, of all this imbalance, is that we lose our coherence. And what is our coherence? In scientific, neuroscientific terms, coherence is actually harmony. Just to be at this place of a middle, of a harmonic center, and be able to stretch both in the one and another end of the polarity, to be able to perceive everything and to be able to install this energetic intelligence into our field, which starts with us opening this coherence through our heart. So when we lose coherence, we lose this clear signal that in a way allows us to become magnetic, to be stable, to be trustworthy to others, to ourselves. And this is actually where the Polarity Code as course begins now. So over the course of next 7 days, we are going to explore how polarity works in our bodies, brains, emotions, and relationships. How to stop reacting and start responding from presence. And then also how to rewire patterns through neuroplasticity, breath, somatic awareness. And of course, at the very end, how to harmonize polarity by integrating this full spectrum of the teachings and of our humanity as well. We will also look at the spiritual wisdom from the Hermetic teachings. We will also touch the Andean lineage to energy medicine. And we will also go into science, how our heart-brain axis and how our nervous system, our electromagnetic field are literally broadcasting polarity at all times. So the goal here is to help us become more coherent, stabilized coherent, emotionally, energetically, relationally, and spiritually as well. So that means less reaction, more regulation, less confusion, more clarity, less self-suppression, and more aligned expression. And then the ability to hold tension without collapsing, which is the heart of this growth. So this will be our foundation and the code beneath everything else. So the best part of this, that our bodies, our minds, our soul, our field already knows all this. We just have to remember it. We just have to recall it and integrate it into our field to be able to use it actively in our everyday. So we can also say, in a way, what we are looking for to install here: coherence, harmony. Harmony is not an absence of tension. It's actually, in a way, sacred tension, which holds everything in balance. We can make an example by a string instrument. So if the strings are too loose, there's no sound. If they're too tight, they can snap. And in that tensioned middle, when the string is just right, well, then the music is born. And that's harmony. We can say this is the middle part. So in the realm of polarity, shadow and light, masculine and feminine, giving and receiving, harmony does not mean choosing one or diluting both of them. It means that we are holding charge between them without collapsing into either of these extremes. So yes, harmony is kind of a tension, but it's alive, it's elastic, it's like a dynamic dance. It's not a frozen state. So we can in a way say that it's the art of standing still and flowing at once. And it's where these opposites are not fighting, but they're collaborating and fusing into something greater. In energy medicine, this is what we call coherence. In the spiritual teachings of the Taoism, they call it the middle way. In music, it's called resonance. In our bodies, it's when our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems align and pulse together. Like in this, you can call it a yin-yang breath, a unity, a uniformity. So the objective is not to eliminate duality, but to find this harmonic place, harmonic spot to tune into the space in between so that we can be able to emit this signal of coherence through our field and keep this balance and harmony which we are seeking for through these teachings. So, Trisha, this is just a small intro to our both to our course and to today's session. And now I would like to invite you to drop into our breath for a while. We are going to stimulate heart-brain coherence, and we are going to practice the breath, the box breath, 4, 4, 4, 4. So we're going to inhale up to 4, hold to 4, exhale to 4, and hold to 4. Just give it your best, the way it feels right for you. So I'm going to guide us into 4 rounds. We can calm our nervous system before our next part of the session. So I invite you to close your eyes. Inhaling deeply through your nose, holding a bit on the top, and then exhaling through your mouth. Then holding a bit. Activating our autonomous nervous system. Now I invite you to connect to a joyous memory, a very joyous memory. Call it into your field. And then let's invite gratitude in our field. Allowing our bodies to manufacture a pharmacy of chemicals, calming us and expanding the magnetic radius of our heart. You're starting to broadcast coherence. Now let's breathe into this luminous energy field of ours. A few more breaths, silence. Tuning into a frequency of a new human, Homo luminous. And now let's allow this energy to settle into our field before we proceed. And now I want to call the 4 directions to activate our sacred space. So calling upon the south, serpent, enter our medicine space and help us shed our past the way you shed your skin. Welcome. From the west, Mother Sister Jaguar, the fearless, the guide through the shadow, enter our medicine space. Welcome. And from the north, Hummingbird, the remembrance of joy, the soulful purpose. Enter our medicine space, the destiny reader. Welcome, Aho, into the winds of the east, eagle, condor, the visionary. Teach us to fly wing to wing with the Great Spirit, raising above any obstacle. Enter our medicine space, Aho. And Mother Earth, we welcome you, Mother. We honor all your relations. You are our anchor. And Father Sky, luminous ones, enter our medicine space. We joyously invite you. You who have 1,000 names and are the unnameable one. Welcome, Aho. So, in the next part of our session, we are going to set the theme for this module, combining a little bit of reading and talking and interaction between you and I around the subject of magnetism. So what is magnetism? Magnetism is what happens when our field, our luminous energy field and our field, energetic field is clear and our poles are aligned. So the origins of polarity are actually from the very old scriptures, wisdom scriptures called the Hermetic teachings. And they mention there in a way that the origin of polarity is like the first unity split for the sake of motion. And we can in a way say that the breath of creation is the first echo of that division. And in the part number 2 of our interactive session here, we are going to be speaking a bit about magnetic polarity in love and purpose and energy. So we can say that a complementary contrast to magnetism, and why magnetism needs difference, because sameness breeds neutrality. And we can use an example. So there's this scientist, a guy called John Gottman, which has a principle which he calls 5-to-1 ratio. And this is connected to the polarity in love relations. So this concept says that thriving couples are often offering 5 positive signals per 1 negative. And why is this important? Because too much positive signals, there wouldn't be any tension. And then the engagement of the loving couple kind of drops. So what this says to us, that we in a way need a certain amount of negative emotional signals as well to be able to stay harmonic and stay on the positive side. So when this happens, if we are not having this reasonable amount of both dualistic tendencies, our field collapses then. And when one pole is over-dominant, then the electromagnetic dialogue shuts down of the body. Then it is like our nervous system is over-giving to prove worth, to itself. And it triggers even our emotional distancing. And this is what scientists call the limbic mistrust. This is our body complaining on an analog level, on a limbic level, what is going on with our field. And actually our immune response is reacting in that way when we are not in balance in polarities. So we can even, while we are in the negative part of the field, we can downplay our power, our, personal intelligence, our personal life force and value. We can downplay it to make ourselves fit in other people's expectations. And this is also actually very negatively affective of our polarized field, of us seeking the harmonic. We can also project confidence, but we can sometimes do it while we are vibrating fear. And these two ground emotions, they are like mixed oscillations. And people can obviously feel this stuff, as we also know that we can feel this on people. When our senses are truly open, we are aligned. So what this says to us, that within the notion and the concept of the polarity and the dualism and us seeking the harmonic, we have to accept that a certain amount of negative emotions and experiences and energies has to be a part of our field for us to be able to stand in harmony without casting the pendulum too much on one or another side of the dualistic spectrum. So we can also address this concept of neurobiology versus social magnetism. And what is this? A lot of it is a medical terminology, but it can help us understand a little bit more about how our bodies and our energy field all together seek for this coherent state, which obviously would be really beneficial for any human being to practice and to disciplinely seek. So, neurobiology of social magnetism. There's a term called resonant limbic regulation, and this is when our middle brain mirrors facial microexpressions of the people around us. Then there's these oxytocin and dopamine loops. They can be described as truthful tensions, which increase both false harmony and it can depress the dopamine as well. So there's this study which is called arousal transfer study made by scientists Dutton and Aaron from 1974. So heightened sympathetic charge, it's like a shaky bridge, and increased attraction to a stranger, for example, can be a proof that clean tension amplifies magnetism. So applied polarity law. So magnetism equals drama in a way, and neuroplasticity loves drama. And this becomes in a way a clean tension. So this is just the perfect amount of the negative and the positive spectrum of the field to keep us in harmonic state. We can even use another example. When we over-identify with being nice or tough, the field will always erode, the field will always collapse. So seeking the harmonic in all aspects of our life is really imperative for us to be able to keep our health, both on our bodily level, emotional level, level of the soul and the spiritual. So now I got one reflection prompt, for you. So think of somebody that you're strongly drawn to. And what energy do they represent to you that you tend to suppress. So once more, please. Think of someone that you're strongly drawn to, and what energy do they represent that you tend to suppress? Are you willing to engage, to interact a little bit with this question?
I don't know how the light is. Oh, that's right. I had a thing on my thing. Yes, actually, I immediately had a person in mind.
Oh, welcome, Christine.
Thank you. I'm enjoying your talk very much. My bestie is drop dead gorgeous, and she inspires in me an acknowledgement and celebration of whatever beauty I see in myself. I honor and appreciate that skill set that she has of flaunting what she's got, but in a very authentic way, not in a way that's manipulative.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And we can always say when we are so close to someone that we have this draw towards somebody, as you with your bestie. Well, we can say that sometimes we can even be borrowing their energy of the opposite, which we are attracted to, so that we can feel whole. And this is also really allowed. This is what we in the energy medicine world call the co-creating of our field, the co-creating even among humans. So when everything is harmonic with our partners or with somebody that we're living with, we're sharing energy, space, and field, it is completely allowed to integrate these polarized tendencies so that we can find the harmonic place to function in our everyday life. So that's really cool that we can allow ourselves to exchange these energies with one another when we are living together or sharing some kind of energies, emotional energies, family members, and such. So for our next part of the session, so we will be staying focused a little bit more on this concept of the heart-brain coherence and the bioelectric field. So why is this important to us? We often forget that our heart also has a brain. And actually, this brain has around 40,000 so-called heart neurons, neurids. And connected to this, there's this vagus nerve, which carries 90% of the signals through the heart brain. And this is what allows us to enter this state of heart brain coherence. So you can even measure this field of the heart when we are in the state of coherence, the harmonic state. It spreads around 10 feet around our body, and it's very much measurable and very much real. So we can also speak about another aspect of this field contagion. So as an example, we can say people rarely remember what we say, but they remember how our field feels. And when we say our field, well, this is our energy and how we radiate outwardly. And many times in our lives, well, we have examples of this. Well, this person had a good energy, great energy, or this person had not so good energy. So we're subconsciously measuring all this. And sometimes our field can feel and implement and integrate and interact with these energies with the individuals that we're together. So in real life, like we can call them mismatches or examples, when we are when we are meeting, for example, a salesperson, and salesperson is saying, trust me, but we are feeling falsehood from this field. For an example, if our partner is saying, I'm fine, but we feel that our partner has a constricted breath and a dropped heart rate, for example. So I want us to reflect for a while, and I would like and propose one of you students and attendees to reflect with me on this. Would you reflect on a moment when someone's kind words felt untrustworthy to your body? So I will repeat the question once more. Can you recall a moment when someone's kind words had an untrustworthy effect on your body? Trisha, would you be interested to interact in this question?
Yeah, they're close friends. um, there's a person who um, portrays to who's in my circle who I can feel their energy. They always have kind words, who always will tell me how happy they are to see me or how good I look, but their energy isn't there. I can feel that they're not happy to see me or that they're not wishing me well. I
Yeah,
just
thank you for sharing.
the knives are out.
Yeah,
You can just feel it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, and also very brave share, And I think that situations like yours, most of us have been experiencing in our lives, maybe even from childhood, but we weren't aware of these tendencies. But it's beautiful, anyhow, that we can sense when somebody is not living up to their true personality or true intentions when we're related and interacting with others. So thank you for
Can I
sharing
ask
once
you a
more.
question,
Yeah.
Trisha? Do you remember that movie Mean Girls?
Mhm.
Back in the day? Lots of people like that all the time, right? I mean, where it feels performative instead of authentic, right?
Mhm.
That the performative instead of authentic is immediately what my mind went to as I was listening to yours.
Right.
So, for sharing.
Okay. Thank you. I didn't see the movie Mean Girls, but I kind of felt your sincerity, and this is the energy that I picked up from you, which as a sincere, truthful, honest energy. So that's even how I could feel by your presence through the Zoom session. So this is a proof that our energies can even be felt, and energetic healing or polarization, harmonization can be done also through sessions like this, when we align with our purpose, with our intentions in the field. So thank you, Christy. So let's continue a little bit more about this wisdom from the old Greeks, the Hermetic teachings, or a few insights on emotional alchemy, which is touching this subject of polarity. So everything is dual, we can say. Opposites, actually, in nature, they are identical, but they differ only in degree. So the art of polarity is actually the art of transmutation. Let's give a few examples here. fear and courage, they're on the same axis. So if we slide the degrees of fear or courage by action in, well, let's call that action a microdosed action. We can feel that we're entering this harmonic state between the fear and the courage. So we can also give as example hate and love. This is also on the same axis. And we are flipping these energies through empathy and boundaries. So we are simply trying to adjust slowly by degrees on this axis to find the middle point, the harmonic point, so that our energy fields and our coherence simply stays aligned and active, so that we, in the most simple way, not lose it. We will never lose it, or we will seldomly lose it, our temper or our, well, the spectrum of our field, the coherence of our field, which is very important for us to be keeping aligned and active, to protect us and to protect the ones that we love and interact with. So that's important. As a third example, we can also say the cold and the hot parts of the spectrum. Like on the faucets to our water, we got the cold, we got the hot. And this is like actually like this thermometer demonstration. Like I've mentioned before, if we move degree by degree in these dualistic experiences, we can find a place which feels reasonable to us to be functioning from. So it's the same with the thermometer. Hot and cold, there's no lines that divide these two. There are only degrees, difference in degrees. So let's reflect upon emotional alchemy practice. All three of us, we can just have a little bit of thought on this. So repressed anger, that energy is like frozen boundary energy. It can be leaking to some kind of passive aggression. So when we say that the energy of repressed anger, the emotion of repressed anger, feels like, in a way, like this frozen boundary in our field, and this can activate passive aggression. So this teaches us that it's not healthy to have repressed anger. Anger, as any other emotion, is very important to deal with, to process. Anger can be bound to grief many times, and how important it is that we process our grief, that we go through our grievances, and that we really allow ourselves to feel all this, but then again, find the way back to the center. So as an example, we can say sadness. Sadness is not just a low vibe. It's actually the parasympathetic integration of the pole, which is kind of restoring balance to itself. Because sadness, very much connected to grieving, well, these are so important emotions that we have to process them to allow our bodies to heal. So now I want to have a reflection with you again, if you allow. So if any one of you would share, no matter what, no matter who is first, but please engage. What emotion do you judge the most? And name one gift it might hold if you befriended that emotion. So my question again, what emotion do you judge most? And then name one gift or blessing that this emotion might hold if you befriended it. So please.
my emotion is rage, and the benefit that I believe befriending the rage that I feel are a stronger sense of self-respect and better boundaries, more effective boundaries.
Mm. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And well, we can also say that rage is a very powerful emotion. And by being able to feel the rage and to go through the rage, which also is in a way an important emotion, we allow ourselves to better understand the other end of the rage, which can be maximal vibrational peace and calmness and presence. And by allowing ourselves to feel all of these dualistic specters, we are betterly aligned to hold the center, the harmonic center, which is obviously our objective in our lives, to become harmonic humans, to be able to harmonize as efficiently as possible in any situation, any given situation, and especially with our uh, partners, family members, and nevertheless ourselves, because sometimes we can even surprise ourselves from our subconscious routines. And sometimes we kind of recall an old wound or something that we thought that we have healed, but then it appears in front of us and we have to deal with it. And how do we do that in the most harmonic way? By,
May I share my method? I
yeah,
found that I'm better able to appreciate and embrace that uncomfortable emotion when it comes up, when I realize that it's simply the other side of the coin of the love that I felt for the people that I'm angry with, that my rage is proportional to the depth of the love I felt for those that betrayed me. So,
hmm, well,
so
that
I
sounds,
more compassionate to the emotion when I look at it like that, you know.
sounds reasonable. Thank you for sharing. Sounds very harmonic and sounds also, well, very fair, let me
Not
say.
easy. So not easy.
Very fair. So, so, uh, so my friends, we are uh, at the last two segments of our session. So I would like us to drop down into our breath a little bit more to kind of center ourselves and to call back this coherent field into us, to calm ourselves fully and to integrate the coherence into our field fully. So I invite you to close your eyes and move your awareness only on your breath. And allow that breath now to gently touch your heart. And visualize now this golden sphere expanding 3 to 10 feet around your body. Now let's once more invite gratitude into our field. Let's recall a very joyous memory, whether that be recent memory or an old memory. Let's each one of us recall a very joyous memory and call it into our field. And as we allow gratitude enter our field and to be integrated into our energy field. We are strengthening our heart-brain coherence. Becoming magnetic, becoming whole, abundant, peaceful, and harmonic. Guys, on your own time, you can open your eyes. And for the last part of the session today, I would like to give you a little preview on tomorrow's day. Module 2, which is called Cohere or Collapse. So this will be very interesting, guys. We will dive into this nervous system sovereignty. We will dive into these 5 stress archetypes: fight, flight, freeze, appease, fade, even more, fornicate, feed. So we will also explore this polyvagal map in our bodies. And we will also do a little bit of practical regulation drills. So in our session, we will be experimenting and exploring how can we, in the most efficient way, bring our autonomous nervous system down to calmness and be producing this more wonderful parts of the cycles to our minds and our bodies. We will also be exploring a little bit about how coherence is flexibility. It's not a constant calm. So this concept of coherence, which we are also closing our session in today, and which we will be constantly and disciplinedly repeating throughout our 7 days, it's actually flexible. So this harmonic state in the middle is always, in a way, swinging from one to another side around the middle, and is able to intercommunicate with both one and another side of the dualistic spectrum, and the dualistic nature of the universe, and the dualistic nature of the human beings. So, guys, this will be all for today. And I will send you out the emails for tomorrow's session. If you have any questions upon today's session, you're more than welcome before we conclude, or anything, you're always welcome to email me if some extra questions, some curiosities, and I'm happy that you joined today, and I hope that you will join tomorrow. So thank you for being here with me today. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.